Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a lovely day so far. So in today's video, this is going to be the second installment of a full face of 17 makeup. So I already have one whole video, full face, brand new to me products. None of these are new products, they're just new to me, testing them out, trying them out, seeing what's good, seeing what's not good. There was a lot of not good. If you want to see that video, I will link it up here. But today, I have pretty much a full face again. I went online and I bought pretty much all the products that I didn't have in that first video. I have purchased them. So let's just dive straight on in. The first product is a new one. I will tell you like what's new and what I've tried before. So this is the 17 Second Skin Enhancing Foundation. I got this in the shade 002N, and I'm not gonna lie, that colour does look a little bit light, but we can make it work. I've got a bronzer, we can make it work. So I'm going to use a sponge, I think. Let's just, okay, yeah, that looks incredibly light. Very, very liquidy. Looks like it could have fairly decent coverage. So it says long-lasting liquid foundation with medium coverage for a natural, healthy looking base. Combination of spherical powders helps to minimize the appearance of imperfections. Formulated with vitamin E and hyaluronic acid to give your skin a fresh finish. Well, that sounds good, doesn't it? Just the colour is worrying me a little bit. So let me take my sponge and I will just pick up a little bit. We've got bronzer, we have bronzer, we have bronzer. I will also just say, I haven't had a cold. I wouldn't say that I have been unwell. However, I did have a couple of days ago, where I just could not stop sneezing. I wasn't unwell, I didn't feel unwell, I just couldn't stop sneezing. So I have a lot of dryness around my nose. I have moisturised 7 million times, but that dryness is just not going away, and it's all like flaky and horrible. So I'm not going to judge any foundation or anything on how it applies over my nose because it's just not going to happen today. Okay, so I am ignoring the nose because that genuinely looks like so flaky and scaly, but everywhere else that also looks incredibly dry. It doesn't feel like it's got any sort of hydration in it. It feels so dry. It doesn't feel heavy or like anything like that on the skin. It just looks so dry. Let me zoom you in. So like I say, I am ignoring the nose. I mean, I'm really sorry if you can see that. But like here, it's like flaky, and I didn't have any dryness there before. I moisturised like 10 minutes before I started filming, so it shouldn't look like that. Yes, I have dry skin, but it shouldn't look like this textured. It looks okay on this side, apart from like here, but like all of this side looks really like rough, and it feels dry to the touch as well. Like it's meant to have that hyaluronic acid in it, and I just don't feel like I don't feel like it's enough for my skin at the minute. But I'm going to persevere. I don't like how this looks, but we're going to carry on. So I tested this concealer in my last video, and I have continued using it since then. It's been about a week since I filmed that video. I've continued to use it, and the more I use it, the more I really, really like it. It's really nice on the skin, like it feels really nice and hydrating around the eyes. It's a really decent amount of coverage actually. I think in that last video I mentioned something about it not being full coverage and it maybe not covering over my dark circles as much as I would like. However, I have continued to use it, and I have continued to really enjoy it, so I feel like it's definitely enough coverage. Okay, I don't know, maybe I was just in a bad mood. Maybe I was just in a bad mood that day, but I have really been enjoying this. It blends out really, really nicely. I feel like it's really nice and creamy feeling. Like it feels really nice on the skin, but it also like blends out really nicely, leaves the skin feeling really nice and hydrated. I feel like around the eyes. I don't necessarily want a lot of powder and things. I don't necessarily need to set this one, which I enjoy. It's not too creamy where it feels like it's going to be like slipping around my face, but it does blend out really nicely and does stay put really nicely as well. I've worn it for like full days at work and stuff like that, and I have been enjoying it, so I take back whatever I said before. I do really enjoy that. And then another product that I tested in that video is the bronzer. So this is the 17 Glow and Define bronzer. This was just in the lightest shade, I do believe, 010. So I'm going to whiz through this because I've already spoken about this. I do really enjoy this bronzer. It's a really nice colour if you are incredibly fair. I do believe they had like 4 shades. So hopefully there would be something that would work for everybody. So next up is blush, and this is another one that I tried in that video, and honestly I haven't picked it up since then, so I'm a little bit scared. But this is the Powder Blush Edit Cheek Colour, and this is in the shade 030 Plum Blossom, and I'm going to really lightly dip onto the end of my brush and just apply the tiniest amount. I think last time I just applied a little bit too much. Yeah, you know what, that's not a bad blush. The colour is just... it's not made for my skin tone. I don't know why I picked it up. Well, I do know why I picked it up. I wanted something different. Serves me right, because this is just not the right colour for me. So then for highlighter, I picked up this, and now looking at it I'm a little bit scared. So this is the 17 Light Reflect Liquid Highlighter, and this is the lightest shade, but that looks like that is going to be so dark on my skin tone. So this is in the shade 010 Champagne, and on the website this looked like it wasn't going to be at all that colour. So now I'm a little bit worried, but what I'm going to do is I'll take some on the back of my hand. Okay, yeah, that's not champagne. That is not a champagne toned highlighter. That is straight up gold. I'm not sure about this. I'm a little bit scared. I'm going to go in with my sponge, get the tiniest amount. The problem that I had with the powder highlighter that I had in the last video was that it was too yellow. And now I'm thinking I'm going to have the same problem with this one. Okay, no, I take that back. It's not too yellow. It's a bit dark. Like, it's a bit dark for my skin tone, considering that this was the lightest shade. It is a little bit too goldeny, but it's not too yellow, if that makes sense. It's a really nice colour when it like catches the light. It's blending out really easily. I feel like that was a good shout doing it with the sponge. I'm going to just take whatever I've got left there and just sort of bounce it sort of all over, just to try and add a little bit of glow where my skin definitely doesn't have any at the minute. So looking close up, there are a few little bits of glitter. However, they're not like big chunks. It is just like very fine little bits of glitter. I would of course prefer it to not have that, but I think that that looks nice. I was absolutely terrified when I got this out of the box. So terrified, but actually I feel like that looks okay. I was maybe being a bit dramatic. I will go over with a tiny little bit more blush. When I say tiny, I mean the tiniest, just to blend that highlight into the blush a little bit more. And obviously, like, that was a liquid, so putting that over the top of the powder, but I wanted to do the blush first, like trying to get things in the right order when you don't know like how things are going to perform together, how things are going to layer up. That was a little bit scary, but we got through it together. So I'm going to quickly go off and do my brows. I'm using the same brow pencil as last time, the Full Definition Brow Pencil in the shade 040 Brown. So I'll be right back once I've done that. Okay, brows are on, and I've just remembered that I picked up this. So this is the 17 Ultimate Look Finishing Powder. This is in 020. I assume that's the same colour as the foundation. I don't really know what a finishing powder is for. Is that the same as a setting powder? I don't know. if you're new here, I'm just making this all up as I go along. So I will take a Real Techniques, what are you, setting brush, and I will dip in a little bit. Oh, that's quite powdery. The problem is, I don't feel like I actually need to set anywhere, so let's just go a little bit down here. Has that made any sort of difference? Just a little bit there. Is it sort of like a more glowy setting powder? Is that what a finishing powder is? I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yes, I'm not really seeing any sort of benefit of that, but I will try this over the top of the like CC cream or whatever it was that I tried in the last 17 video, because that was a little bit too glowy and I feel like this is quite drying, like quite matte. It says, your perfect handbag companion, high coverage powder for a flawless complexion, complemented by vitamin E and sweet almond oil to make your skin feel soft and silky. I wouldn't say that this is giving me like a flawless complexion. I can't comment on if it's giving me any extra coverage because I don't know. I don't necessarily think it has. Obviously I only use the tiniest little bit. However, my skin does not feel soft and silky. It's looking so dry now. That has just dried it out even more. So, love that for me. However, I feel like the foundation was bad, so like everything's just going to be bad on top of it today. I will, of course, keep on playing. So, eyes. I got an eyeshadow palette. I also originally ordered 2 eyeliners. Now when I went in store to get the first lot of products, I swatched on my hand an eyeliner, and it was one of these, but it was a different colour. This is the Ink Legend Tattoo eyeliner. Now this is in the blue shade, but the one that I had swatched in store was like a bronzy, like glittery brown sort of shade, and it was so pretty. And honestly, that swatch lasted on my hand all day. I was scrubbing at it with my cellar water. It was not coming off. So I was like, okay, yeah, I need to go back and buy that. So I bought that one and I bought this one, and then only this one was delivered. So I'm just going to be testing out a blue eyeliner today, but I did also get an eyeshadow palette because, like I said in that previous video, all of the eyeshadow palettes in store were completely wrecked. Every single one of them was completely broken. And then I got this out of the box, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see, but like on the packaging, like all around here, it's dusty and like scratched. And this has come from the warehouse, you know, this hasn't come off a shop floor, so this should be spotless, but it's all dirty. It's like covered in dust. All on the back as well is all covered in like fingerprints and like all dusty on the back as well. So I don't know if this has just been sitting in a warehouse for like 3 years. I don't know, but it is so dirty. I feel like I should probably like sanitize all of this. And like it was the same with the finishing powder, and again I don't know if you will really be able to see, but all like up around the top here was like really dusty and almost like sawdust, sort of like really fine bits of like scratchy sawdust. It was really strange, and I wasn't expecting that from like products that I'd ordered online. Like you expect them to come clean and you expect them to come not dusty, but anyway, I'm going to use it anyway. And I will swatch all of these shades now. This is in the shade 030 Browns. They had a few different ones that I was very interested in, like the shades of. However, I decided to go for this one since I had the blue eyeliner, and I'm just going to do something quite simple. I will say, looking at this close up, I'm not bothered by like the size of it or anything like that. The packaging's really like, it feels like what you would expect for the price that I paid for this, which I can't remember. But all of the shades along the bottom, so all of your like deepest shades, are all shimmery. I would have preferred, like, especially the very darkest one, and maybe even one of the others, I think I would have preferred them to have been matte so that I could use that to do like a smoky wing. I feel like it limits me having a darker shade that's shimmery. I'm not going to use that as much as I would a matte, and also all of the lighter shades are matte, whereas I feel like I would benefit from having one of those as being shimmery. Like, the formulas that they've chosen for each colour just feels a little bit off to me, but I will wipe off all of those products off the back of my hand and swatch these, and let's see how we go. Okay, so I am wholeheartedly underwhelmed with all of those shades. So these are the top 6, and honestly I feel like you could have just chosen 2 of those. And you know, had the same selection of colours. They all look very, very similar. They are all matte. They all just feel a little bit wishy-washy. So this is actually 2 layers of each of those matte shades, and I just feel a little bit meh, a little bit underwhelmed with them. They're just very, very powdery, not very pigmented, almost look like they're going to be quite difficult to blend. Obviously I haven't tried them yet, but they're not looking great. And then the shimmers, these last 3, they are all beautiful, especially this one, which was that first one. That looks so pretty. They are all so pigmented, those 3 shimmers. I feel like you could have gotten rid of some of these, maybe had a lighter shimmery shade, and you would have had a much better, sort of more usable, user-friendly palette. Little bit of a strange colour choice, and like, why would they have all 6 of these shades that are pretty much exactly the same? You know, there's a few that are a little bit lighter, a few that are a little bit brighter, but mostly all exactly the same. And then these 3 that are so intense and so pigmented and so reflective, like, why not have more of this and less of this? Like, none of this and just this. So I'm going to try and make something on my eyeballs. So I'm going to go in with a big fluffy brush, and I'm going to dip into this matte shade on the top row. That's the like warm one from those swatches, like the only one that looks any different from any of the others. I'll tap off, and I'm just going to run that through the crease. I'm not doing anything remotely interesting today. Okay, so that's blended out really, really nicely. It wasn't too pigmented, but it is like still very much showing up on my skin. So I think I'm just going to go straight into this shade here, which is the one that I said looked incredible on the swatch, and I think I'm just going to use my finger actually and just tap a little bit of that over the lid. Okay, so that shade is packed on so nicely. That would be, for me, that would be the perfect, like, bang it on the lid, blend it out with a big fluffy brush, don't worry about applying anything else, and then just put on a load of mascara. That would be like the way that I would use that shade, and I suspect that all 3 of those shimmer shades would work in the same way. So that one was a lot warmer. I mean, you can see in the pan, this one is a lot warmer, then this one is a little bit cooler, and then obviously this one's a lot darker, but all 3 of those look like they would sort of work in that way, where they are just very, very creamy, very, very pigmented, blend out really, really nicely, and they also just leave the tiniest little iridescent wash of colour across your lid. I really, really like that. I'm going to just dip in with that same brush into the darker shade just to try and deepen up the outer corner a tiny, tiny little bit, and then I will go in with that blue liquid liner. Okay, so actually that darker shade on the outer corner, just the tiniest little dip of product and then blended right out. That doesn't look too shimmery. I was worried about that looking like too glittery, too far out, but actually I feel like that colour works really, really nicely. So I'm going to just park the eyeshadow palette for a little second. I might go back in and put like a bright inner corner because you know me. And I will go in with the eyeliner. So like I say, this is blue. I'm very, very excited. I love me a blue. So got my mirror just in another little compact here. I'm going to try and do a little wing. And when I say little, I do only mean little because I don't want the blue to like overtake this beautiful like bronzy smoky eye that we've got going on. So let's see. Oh, that's so pigmented. That colour is beautiful as well. It's a brush tip as well, which is my preference. I don't know why I'm talking, because I can't concentrate and talk at the same time. That's so easy. That was so easy. Right, let's try and do a wing, because that's the difficult part. Okay, so that was incredibly easy, incredibly pigmented. Like, that was just one swipe. The length of the brush was really nice, so I could get very sharp like wings. I could make it a very sort of thin line further out, but you could also like press a little bit harder like on the outer corner of the lid to make it a little bit wider out there. That was so easy, and I feel like with this look it's not necessarily showing up the most blue. However, I feel like in real life you'd definitely be able to see that that is not a black eyeliner, but I love that. I feel like that is such a massive win, and I definitely feel like if I keep on looking on the website and the brown one actually ever comes back into stock, that would look amazing with this, because it had these like glitters in it. I'll put a picture up of the one that I ordered and you'll see how beautiful it is. It was incredible, and like I say, I'd already swatched these on the back of my hand in the shop, so I know that this colour is going to last incredibly well all day. Better than this piece of garbage that I'm trying to make work because I spent my money on it, but honestly, the pen eyeliner, just don't even buy that. Buy these. They had so many different colours as well, like really fun colours too, so buy that one instead. I really like that. So for mascara, this is another one that I already tried in that last video. This is the Another Level Volume Mascara. This is just in the black shade. So like I say, I have already tested this one out. I already know that it's fine. It's not the most volumizing, it's not the most dramatic, but it was incredibly affordable, so I'm not mad at it. I'm going to just apply a few healthy layers of this. I'll be right back. Okay, so that's 2 layers of the mascara, and honestly, I just feel like it's not going to get any better than this. Like, it's not awful. It's not the most awful mascara. I have worn this to work and it's lasted really nicely all day, but it's not the best looking that I've ever tried. I've tried mascaras a lot better than this, but I've also tried mascaras that are a lot more expensive than this. This is a perfectly fine one. I don't love it, it's perfectly fine. Then lipstick. This is the creme lip in the shade Pale Nude, and that is exactly what it is. So I'm just going to firstly wipe off the lip balm that I put on. Then I didn't pick up a lip liner, however I have my Essence one here, my favourite Essence one, so we'll see how it looks by itself. Let's just see how this looks by itself. I'm not sure how I feel about that. So I know I keep talking about this last video, but I've already like tested the brand a little bit. In that last video I tested out a matte lipstick that felt creamier than this one. This one feels like bitty and like, I don't know, like stringy, like on my lips, like it's picking up on every bit of texture on my lips, whereas I feel like with the matte one that felt more hydrating, more smoothing, more comfortable than this one that says that it's a cream lip. So it says on the back, easy glide on cream lipstick with a natural to shiny finish and amazing coverage, enriched with castor oil for soft, smooth lips. The coverage is good. There's a good amount of like pigment, but I don't know how I feel about this colour, firstly, and I don't know how I feel about the texture. It feels really like thick. I don't know. I don't like that. Let's see if I can make it better with some of my favourite lip liner. Like I say, the Essence 8 Hour Matte Comfort Lip Liner in Rosy Nude. Let's see if I can make it better. Yeah, you know what, that looks better with the lip liner on. Maybe the colour was just throwing me off a little bit. And also my lips, same as my nose, my lips are incredibly dry at the minute. I mean, I did put like a lip balm on, I exfoliated this morning, but it is feeling a little bit dry, a little bit uncomfortable, and not anywhere near as good as the red one that I tried in my last video. That one was like, in my last video, the only thing that I was certain that I loved was the lipstick. Everything else I was like, I'm holding judgment on, like I'm gonna keep on playing, and now I'm like, I don't like this. The lip liner isn't even from 17. The eyeliner I really love. What else have I tried that's new? The highlight, I think I'm going to keep playing with this. I think this underneath foundation would look really nice. The eyeshadow palette, a little bit underwhelmed. The colours are just a little bit strange. The darker colours, absolutely beautiful. The foundation, I just don't think it's for me. I think my skin's just too dry for it. Honestly, I feel like it would be a beautiful foundation. I do genuinely believe it would be a beautiful foundation if you had oilier skin. But if you have dry skin, don't get it. Just don't get it. The brow pencil is not the perfect shade for me, but it is perfectly fine. The bronzer, I really like. The finishing powder, again, my base wasn't right for forming any sort of opinion on this powder today. What else have I tried? What else was new? I think that was everything. Is that everything? If I've forgotten anything, let me know down below and I will duly go ahead and tell you what I think of it. But that is my opinion. That is a full face of 17 makeup. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you picked up any of these products as well. If there's any other products from 17 that you think I need to try, because of course they are super affordable and they're also cruelty free, which is a massive win. So if there's anything that you think I need to pick up, then please do let me know. If you are new here, I would love it if you would subscribe down below. I post 3 times a week on a Monday, a Wednesday and a Friday. So if you want to see those, you can subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you would give it a big thumbs up. But until next time, thank you ever so much for watching. Bye.